I was studying about the midgut development, so I thought why not make you guys study along with me. So the midgut, it basically develops during the 6th week of development during the intrauterine life. So how does the midgut develops? As we all know, the midgut includes all the long loops of the small intestine as well as the large intestine. So basically the trunk is very small during the 6th week of the development. You know, it can't accommodate all the loops of the intestine. So what happens is that the midgut basically herniates out through the umbilicus. It herniates outside during the 6th week of development, and during the 10th week of development it herniates back. Let us consider this whole black hair band as the midgut, okay? And this, as we all know, that the midgut basically rotates 270-degree anti-clockwise, right? But it has to rotate around an axis, obviously. So what is the axis? The axis is nothing but the superior mesenteric artery. So this is the axis, and this superior mesenteric artery basically divides this whole midgut into two segments. This is the pre-arterial segment, and this is the post-arterial segment. This can be also referred to as the cranial end, and this is the caudal end. So this pre-arterial segment will give rise to the future small intestine, which will include the second part of the duodenum, jejunum, ileum, cecum, ascending colon, and some parts, that is the proximal 2/3 part of the transverse colon. Whereas the post-arterial segment will give rise to our future large intestine, which will include the rest of the transverse colon, the descending colon, and the sigmoidal colon, along with the cecum and the cecal and the appendicular bird. Okay. Here you guys can imagine the umbilical opening. Okay, imagine an umbilical opening around this, and through this umbilical opening, this whole structure, you know, herniates outwards. Okay. Now, what happens is, firstly, this whole structure will rotate 90-degree anti-clockwise. So it will become like this, and after this 90-degree anti-clockwise direction, it will rotate 180-degree anti-clockwise again, and then it will become like this. So this is the final structure of the midgut. And after all of this has happened, during the 10th week of the development of the intrauterine life, this whole structure through the umbilical opening, as I said, you have imagined over here, this whole structure will retrace back. This whole hernia thing is referred to as the physiological umbilical hernia. This is a very important PYQ from the exam point of view. And now let's talk about the clinical anomalies. So if there is a failure of the reduction of this physiological hernia during the 10th week of the development, it results to, yes, omphocele. So what is the omphocele? Omphocele is basically nothing but it is the protruding outside of all the loops of the small intestine through the umbilicus, and it does not, you know, it does not reduces back. Okay, so this is referred to as omphocele, and the loops of the intestine will be covered by the peritoneum. So there's a very common misconception about omphocele and gastroschisis. So omphocele is a congenital anomaly in the reduction of the physiological hernia, whereas the gastroschisis is nothing but it is an anomaly which occurs due to the defect in the anterior abdominal wall. Remember, the loops of the intestine in the case of this gastroschisis they are not enclosed by the peritoneal coverings. So thank you, and that's all.